Good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday. We are in Midtown Manhattan, 58th Street and 5th Avenue near the Plaza Hotel. It's going to be a short stream tonight, but we're just going to be walking around because it just stopped raining. And we are going to be talking about the Columbia Large Cap Growth Stock Mutual Fund. The ticker symbol is GAEGX. And it has total assets under management of $5.8 billion. The two portfolio managers are Tiffany Wade and Melda Mergen, so we'll be talking about that tonight. Here I see Mark here, says good evening. What's up, Mark? I see Troy 1995 says it's pouring outside, Tom. What's up, Troy? And I see Paul Greenwell. What's up, Paul? And I see Michelle Cunningham. Welcome, everybody. Apologize for being on so late tonight. It's been a crazy day. I've been working so many long hours, but we are here. Sally, I see you. What's up, Sally? Destructionist says happy Thursday. Already, it's almost Friday. In about an hour, it will be Friday. So what's up, everybody? Cecilia, I see you. I see Orland Edwards. What's up, Orland? Ernesto says hey from Los Angeles, I believe you're from. Sunshine after rain. Good to see you. Hey, Fred says hey, skate bro. Unfortunately, no skateboard tonight, guys, because we just finished a big rainstorm here. Rhino 305 says hi, Tom. Happy almost Friday. Got about one more hour. I see Fred. Sally says nothing much, Tom. Scholler says hi, Tom. Hey, and we got Soho guy. Haven't seen Soho here in a long time. So how are you, Soho? Hope you're well. Destructionist says I'm so excited for Friday. We're getting our new puppy tomorrow. Right on. That's awesome. Keep us updated on that. Orland says appreciate the dedication tonight, Tom. Appreciate you. Jay says hey, Tom. How you doing? I'm doing really good. Very busy day today. I was working pretty much all day, right from probably like 8:30 all the way up into 30 minutes ago. So big, long day, crazy day. But, you know, hopefully I won't be able to do, or hopefully I won't have too much work to do tomorrow, but, you know, we'll see. So we are here at 58th Street near the Plaza Hotel. Beautiful night. It just stopped raining. Very low humidity. Fred T is here. Says hi, Tom. Hey, Super Beast says no skateboard. Yeah, not tonight. It was a big rainstorm here in Manhattan. I see Melanie Sam. Irevis is here. Hey, Irevis. Says, is it raining? Is it cold? It's not that cold, honestly, right now. I would probably say it's around 70 degrees, give or take. 70 degrees, give or take. Omar K says, namaste, Tom. Namaste to you too, Omar. Hope you're well. The Mighty Bull. What's up, Mighty Bull? Says, good evening, Tom. Good to see you again. Let's roll. Let's roll the Mighty Bull. Mighty Bull, no skateboard tonight because the ground is too wet. And I don't want to clock my skull on the ground. Joey says, good evening, Tom. Joey, what's up, man? Good to see you again. Sweet dreams says hi, all. These hotels look very familiar. Ren says, good evening, Sir Tom. What's up? Ren, how are you? Josie, good evening. We're right outside of the Apple store, and I think it's lightning now, too. So we'll be able to see some cool lightning on the stream tonight, everybody. Colin says, hey, everyone. Good evening. So it's going to be a late night stream tonight, guys. But I hope everybody's well. It's Thursday, already the end of the week. So that's a positive. That's a plus. Sunshine after rain, always good to see you. The one thing I like about the rain in the city is that every time it rains, everything looks so clean. The streets look cleaner, everything looks a lot brighter. So overall, it's definitely good. But I definitely needed to get out of the house tonight. Matt Bob says, hey kids, almost Friday. There we go, Matt Bob. Happy Thursday, Matt. We're here on 5th Avenue, 57th Street. near the Trump Tower and the Tiffany Company building, which they're redoing. They're completely gut renovating the entire thing. Hey, Joey says my weekend starts tonight. I'm off tomorrow. Awesome. Paul Greenmo says, well, Tom, I am tired, so I will see you tomorrow. Paul, I absolutely understand that. Sleep is important, so I will talk to you tomorrow, my friend. Soho guy says, Tom, what part of New York City are you moving to? I haven't decided that yet, Soho. If you have any recommendations, please let me know. I know that you just renewed your loft in Soho, so I wonder how much that was. Hey, I see Paul Newman. What's up, Paul? Hope you well. Hey, T&Me TV says, just tuned in from Nashville, Tennessee after playing Grand Ole Opry. Good chill here. What's up, T&Me TV? We are outside of the Trump building right now. I'll show you guys the big clock outside of the Trump building. Benjamin says, best thing about the rain is the photographer, is the reflections. I agree. Hey, Ken Glass is here. Very clear, great job. The Mighty Bull says, time is flying as we get older. Absolutely. So I'll give you guys a look at this is Trump Tower right here on 5th Avenue. Marilyn Ringle says hello. Soho says price went down, but I think lower Manhattan is cool. Interesting. So Soho, I thought you renewed your loft in Soho. I could be mistaken, but I thought you told me that. Hey, Traveling Tips says, hey from LA, we need that rain here. I wish we could send you that rain. I think this year, 2021, has been record amounts of rain for New York City. Hey, Simone says, Arsenal FC, London, England. Life and Liberty says, good evening, Tom. What's up, Life and Liberty? Hope everybody is doing well tonight on this very rainy Thursday. Extremely rainy Thursday. Very late night stream, but I wanted to come on anyway because I needed to get out of the house. Extremely busy day. Marilyn Ringle says, I'm watching the movie Castaway. I don't think I've ever seen that movie. Is Castaway about the guy who, what's it called? He makes friends with like a beach ball or volleyball. AI says, hello everyone. Tom, hope you're well. AI, hope you're well too. Happy Thursday, happy Friday in almost an hour. Brandy says, hey Tom and everybody. Joey says it's been raining all day here in Philly. So Joey, I'm actually going to be in Philly in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks I have to go to Philly. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't been to Philly ever. So Friends is starring Tom Hanks. Yes. Fred says Wilson. So Soho guy says it's about $3,200, but I think of just cutting the lease. I'm really liking the Upper East Side. Nice peeps, better cat policy too. Says Soho. Yeah, for some reason I'm not a big fan of the Upper East Side. If anything, I would much rather be in the Upper West. Hey, we have Carmen Jimenez here hello from California. What's up, Carmen? Gerald Lee says, hey Tom, rainy night for it. How are you? Doing very good, Gerald Lee. Always good to see you. We're outside of the Peninsula Hotel. Right here on 5th Avenue and East 55th Street. So Gerald, always good to see you. Oscar says, hi Tom, how you doing today? I'm doing good, but it's been a crazy day. Really crazy day. Long hours. AI says, Tom, how did your presentation go? Sure you knocked it out of the park. It went well, but very long. Very, very long. But it did go well. We're moving the ball down the field. That's the only thing that matters. So BMX Boys Club says, hopefully I'll see some of my friends biking by again tonight. That'd be cool. Cecilia Thomas says, I'm watching Coming to America. Awesome. Cecilia, that's great. So check out the ceilings in this place. This place is beautiful. The ceiling, the architecture is amazing. Marilyn Ringel says, watch this movie, I never saw it. Address issues of what is important in life. Focus on the things besides work. Never know direction life will take us, says Marilyn Ringel. Very interesting. And you're talking about Castaway. Cool. Hey, Zap Allen, I see you in here. What's up, Zap Allen? Soho guy says the Upper West Side is cool. I haven't put a ton into looking there, but maybe in a year or so I'd live all over. Got it. I feel like the Upper West Side is more lively than the Upper East Side. A lot more things to do, in my opinion. Lucas is here, says, hey Tom, good evening. Castaway is with Tom Hanks, lost on the Lonely Island. Macho Tony says, wow, he's out tonight. It was raining buckets earlier. Yeah, Machos. It was really, really crazy earlier in the day. So this is that brand new building for MoMA. So right above the MoMA Museum, there's actually multi-million-dollar apartments, a big apartment complex. So we're not going to be streaming long tonight, guys. We're just going to I just need to take a little walk after work because it was way too crazy tonight. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about very briefly today with all of you. So I was reading Investors Business Daily, and every single week, the analysts and the journalists who work for IBD will highlight a specific mutual fund that has outperformed their benchmark or their indices over the past 3, 5, and 10 years. And I always like to read those interviews because we could pick up some commonalities and some characteristics of the portfolio managers that tend to outperform the market over time. So if you want to read the article, type into the chat exclamation point GAEGX, exclamation point GAEGX, and that is the ticker symbol for the Columbia Large Cap Growth Stock Mutual Fund. And this growth stock mutual fund has consistently outperformed their benchmark indice of the S&P 500 over the past 3, 5, and 10 years. And the two portfolio managers are incredibly, incredibly smart women on Wall Street. One of which being Tiffany Wade, and the second one being Melda Mergen. And in the article, or the interview rather, I should say, they go into detail on how they pick their stocks. So stock selection and what's the most important characteristics. So the Nightbot should be able to drop the link for you guys. And if you read and you study the best portfolio managers on Wall Street, you'll start to find a commonality between their stock selection. And it's usually they focus on the companies that are growing their earnings over time in large total addressable markets. So we'll talk about that tonight as we walk down 5th Avenue to West 52nd Street. Hey, 48 says, hi Tom, glad you are okay after last night. Think of you big time. Appreciate that. Yeah, last night I just think my phone died and I think the service was not good. This is one of my favorite buildings in terms of architecture on 5th Avenue. It's right here on East 52nd Street. But 48, glad to see you again too. Kranoff says, how long have you been in New York? Very, very long time. I am from New York, best state on the planet. Penelope says, evening Tom, hope you are in your rain gear. Yeah, so Penelope, thankfully the rain actually just stopped, but I did bring the umbrella just in case, but I left the skateboard at home. Because if you skateboard, especially on skate park wheels, these are very, very hard plastic wheels. Even if the ground is a little bit wet, it's sort of like ice skating. So I'm not trying to bust my skull open tonight. Maybe we'll do that another night. So tonight we're just gonna walk around after work, and I hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Jonathan says, thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you do, Jonathan. Hey, Dave says, I'm looking forward to this, Tom. What's up, Dave? Matt says, give your whole heart and soul to Jesus. I can get behind that. I can get behind that. Ren, what's going on? Macho, how are you? I see Colin in here. What's up, Colin? Ren says, yeah, I think it's a good idea to bust your head another night. It says Ren. Hey, Felix. Hey, Felix is here. Says, hello, Tom. How are you? Hey, Felix. Good to see you again. Hope you're well. Very good to see you, Felix. Gustavo. Gustavo's here. Says, hello, New York City Live. Yeah, we're in the mirror right there. JK says, hey, Tom. Good evening. Glad to be on with you. Let's discuss the markets. JK, big rally day on Wall Street. Big rally day today. The S&P 500 has reclaimed its key 50-day moving average. So that was encouraging. We're not out of the woods yet, but one of the things that I like to look for, and we talk a lot about on the stream, is the collapsing of the VIX, or the volatility index. And just on Monday, when we had that big stock market sell-off, and it wasn't even that big, the VIX went up all the way to 27, and it's since then collapsed significantly. So that's signaling a market bottom. So we'll watch that. We'll keep our eye on it as we move forward. Hey, Loose72 is here. Says, hey, Wall Street Skate Bro. What's going on, Loose72? Always good to have you here. Thomas says, hi, Tom, and sunshine after rain. I'm glad to be here with you tonight. Well, I'm glad you're here. It's going to be a very short stream tonight, everybody. Arctic Turn says, do you believe you can catch COVID one-niner by walking past somebody on the street? And is the tooth fairy real? I would say the latter. Ren says, who's in the mirror? What's up, Ren? Patrice says, beautiful New York City. We're right now standing on St. Patrick's Cathedral, a beautiful, beautiful church. I love going here. Sally says, thanks for all the live streams, Tom. They are always enjoyable and fun and so interesting. You always learn a lot. Sally, that means a lot. Thank you so much. JK says, bull market now. This is JK. Esther says, hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, y tú? Kim Grant says, hi, Tom. What's up, Kim? JK says, Tom is 27. I'm 26, almost 27. I'll be 27 on May 25th. Jonathan says, what would be the first book someone can read if they want to learn how to invest? So I would read 3 books, and I'll give you the title of 3 books. And I think the Nightbot, if you look at the Nightbot, it drops the links to these books. And a lot of them, I have them for free down in the links in the description. I would read Common Sense Investing by Jack Bogle. Common Sense Investing by Jack Bogle would be the #1. And he is the founder and the CEO of Vanguard Group, or the former founder and CEO. Unfortunately, he died of old age. Then I would read One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch. And Peter Lynch is one of the greatest and most successful mutual fund managers of all time. He used to run the Fidelity Magellan Fund back in the day. And then I would read Common Stocks and Uncommon Profits by Phil Fisher. So definitely check out those books. Hey, Taga Kale's here. Says the weekend's almost upon us. How's everyone doing? Hey, Tom. Taga Kale, how are you? DJ says, hola, Tom. How is work? Work was grueling today, I'm not going to lie. Long day, but we're pushing through. We're getting it done. Kevin says, Wellington Fund from Vanguard is great. Low cost, actively managed fund, and a balanced fund, says Kevin. Kevin, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to check that out. Let me take a screenshot. So Kevin brings up a good point about low fees. You want low fees. Very good. Union Station in Kansas City is lit green like the Empire State Building. That must look great. The Empire State Building looks white tonight. Hey, I see Letty Munoz. What's up, Letty Munoz? Jonathan says, LOL, you speak Spanish? Not very well. Not very well. One says, Mayhem Yeah, guys, let's keep the craziness to a minimum in the chat tonight. No craziness in the chat tonight as we walk down Fifth Avenue. So once again, I think, oh, Todd Scott is here. Says, are we stopping for pizza or beer? Only if you want to, Scott, and only if you're, I mean, Todd, and only if you're paying. If you're paying, we'll stop. Just kidding. But so tonight, I think if you take 15 minutes out of your night and read this article in Investors Business Daily, they do a full interview with Tiffany Wade and Melda Mergen, which are the two portfolio managers of the Columbia Large Cap Growth Stock Mutual Fund. So in the chat, if you do exclamation point GAEGX, it's going to drop the link. I programmed the Nightbot to drop the link. And these two portfolio managers run about $5.8 billion. That's their AUM. So AUM stands for Assets Under Management. And they have a very, very unique investing thesis. And they actually disclose some of their long positions and how they identify these stocks to put in the mutual fund. So I think it's very interesting. Some of the stocks that they own, they only own 56 stocks in the entire mutual fund as of July 31st. So only 56 stocks in the entire fund. And the top 10 of those picks alone are featured in the FANG stocks. So if you think about what the FANG acronym is, it's the major tech stocks. So you can think about like a Facebook, an Apple, an Amazon, or a Google. Hey Tom, checking in for my evening stroll in New York City, says B7. What's going on, B7? Hope you're well. Sylvia says, last night the building was green and we didn't know why, says Sylvia. Yeah, I think there was many different theories. Hey, we have Solo401 in the chat. What's up, Solo? Thomas says, Tom, I'm lucky to live just down the road from where you are. Well, it's about a 2.5 hour drive. Awesome, Thomas. You got to come in the city sometime. Have to come in the city sometime. What made you decide to start such an awesome channel? I mean, usually after work, I skateboard around the city for hours anyway, and I think about stocks and all that stuff. So I'm like, I might as well stream it and talk about it, and I think it helps me retain information a little bit better. One says no skateboard. Yeah, not tonight because it's raining, and skateboarding in the rain is like skating on ice. Chad says, do you use wireless Bluetooth headset for audio? Always sounds great. I don't use anything for the audio. I just, freestyle it on the phone, and hopefully it doesn't sound too terrible. But so I do not use anything for the audio. I just sort of stream. Hey, Danny Boy says, ESB, Empire State Building, was green last night in partnership with the City Harvest Hunger Action Month launch. Awesome, Danny. I can get behind that. Hey, I see Ray in the chat. What's up, Ray? But one, yes, we don't have the skateboard tonight. But Chad, it's good to see you. Letty Munoz says, is it raining? It's raining a little bit, but it mainly stopped. We were getting hammered a couple hours ago, but now it's fine. William Travis says, hello, everyone. Hola a todos. Hola a todos, William. A work in progress is, what advice would you give for someone starting a job in New York City? What job are you starting? I mean, first of all, congratulations that you got a job in the city. That's awesome. But if you're just starting a job in the city, I would get very good at that job. I would get so good at that job that you're irreplaceable. So I would focus on networking, especially if you're just moving to New York City. I would get to know your managers, your coworkers, the higher ups in the company. Make sure people know who you are in that company. And also be willing to take on additional work that you don't get paid for in order to help somebody else. Because that'll make you stand out. Hey, Ryan Royal says, hey, Tom and everyone. Raining in New York again. I know, Ryan, it was raining all day, but it finally just stopped, which is great. Hey, Jonathan Rickard, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the support. Fraud Police says, are you a financial advisor? We are not. We are not. RL says, yesterday's color green in partnership with City Hall Harvest Hunger launch. I think that's great. That's something I can get behind. So there was a couple people on the channel that said it was in relation to Ramadan, like the ending of the holy month of Ramadan. One other person said it was for climate change, and now it's for the city harvest. So I'm not sure which one it is, but maybe they're all sort of launched in together. John says, hello, Tom and Associates. Where are we headed? We're headed to the Empire State Building tonight. Alice says, good night, Tom and everyone. What's up, Alice? One says, how did you get into tech, if you don't mind me asking? I think I've just always had an interest in tech in general, and when I had an internship when I was very young, everybody told me to go into tech sales, or software sales, SaaS sales, and I really enjoyed it. So Thomas says, wow, that iPhone must have some awesome audio processing. Hey, Zoom is here again, says it's City Harvest per the website. Zuma, good to see you again. Penelope says, I constantly write notes on things. Just the kinetic act of writing and the visualization helps me remember things. Yeah, I think me as well. You know, anytime I read an article, I have to underline it or I'll completely forget what I read. Hey, Lena Sandoval. What's going on, Lena Sandoval? Melissa White says, the city looks so clean tonight. It does. We were just talking about that. Anytime after it rains, the city just looks so clean, which is definitely a big plus. Angel P says, I don't think I've ever seen the city this clean before. Bowser says, hey, Tom. What's up, Bowser? Fraud Police says, enjoy your stream. Good stuff. Appreciate it, Fraud Police. What percent of people are back in the office? Should you wait until January? I mean, essentially, a lot of people are coming back to the office. However, everybody's doing a hybrid sort of model, a hybrid business model. So you don't have to come back into the office if you don't want to. Hey, Brandon says, did you buy that Mega Millions winning ticket? I did not. I did not. LaFlame says, it looks perfect for a walk tonight. Emerson says, I'm jealous of all your rain. Hey, British Grays here says, good Thursday evening, Tom and everybody. British, good to see you. Zuma says, good to be back. Love seeing the city at night. I love it too. I indeed love it too. Hey, we have the one and only Disney cast member, fellow Long Islander. Says, I just got a flood advisory alert for Long Island on my phone. Oh, please, not again. No more flooding. Mr. David says, thank you from the UK. What's up from the UK? Musad says, Ramadan ended May 15th and next Ramadan starts April 5th. I know because I fast. Very good piece of information. Thank you so much. One says, I'm looking to start a job and they said training for 10 weeks and then back in the office, but I might decline going back. I want to stay remote, says one. Well, the one thing that I could say about that is that you have a lot of leverage now because it's very difficult for companies to keep employees. It's very, very difficult for companies to retain employees right now, especially. So I think you have a lot of leverage and a lot of bargaining chips, especially if they're going to invest 10 weeks into training you. I think you can leverage, 3 days a week working remote and 2 days a week in the office. I think you can have some serious leverage there. Aries Girl 52, Cosmo Scary's here. Cosmo Scary says, Tom, if you won the Mega Millions, would you stop streaming? I would never win the Mega Millions because I've never bought a lotto ticket in my life. The Mighty Bull says, what's the topic tonight, Tom? Mighty Bull, the topic is the Columbia Large Cap Growth Stock Mutual Fund. And if you do !GAEGX in the chat, it's going to drop an Investors Business Daily article interviewing the two portfolio managers of this mutual fund. And they both manage about $5.8 billion in assets under management. Tiffany Wade and Melda Mergen. And the reason why I give you guys these articles is because a lot of people will ask, hey, what stocks should I invest in, and this and this and that. And number one, you should never be asking anybody else for stock tips and stock picks, right? Because that you can't create duplicity in that environment. If you just go to some random person on Reddit and you say, hey, I want a stock tip, number one, you're probably going to lose money, and number two, you cannot create any sort of duplicity in that environment. And what I mean by that is you need to actually learn the systems and procedures of how real money managers on Wall Street make their stock selection. And if you don't want to do that, you should probably just invest your money over time into an index fund that tracks either the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, and take all of your investments in a passive way so you're not wasting your money buying individual stocks with very poor fundamentals. So if you read that article, these two portfolio managers go over in detail the stocks they're buying, why they've purchased them, and some of the catalysts behind their decision making. And we're not just, so the majority of mutual funds on Wall Street underperform significantly the overall market. But the beauty of reading Investors Business Daily is they pick mutual funds with a phenomenal track record that have consistently outperformed their benchmarks over the last 3, 5, and 10 years. So you want to develop good habits in your investment making decisions. Hey, I see Ryan Royals here. He says, I want to play the lottery, but I can never seem to find where to buy tickets. I think it's probably best not to play the lottery. Hey, Brandon's here, says money never sleeps. Brandon says just watch both Wall Street movies and you'll know everything, says Brandon. Yeah, Zuma says always do your stock pick due diligence. What cell service do you have? You're buffering. I have Verizon. Melissa White says great advice, Tom. So we're on East 38th Street and 5th Avenue. NYR94 says, are we going to be passing any restaurants? I'm starving. So we're actually coming up on Koreatown, and Koreatown probably has some of the best restaurants in the city. And I think it's just starting to rain, so we're gonna crank out the umbrella here. So I'm glad we brought the umbrella, guys. I almost left it inside. I was this close to leaving it inside, but we got it. Hey, Richard says, do you think they will raise the debt? I do think they will raise the debt. Brandon says, should you read the company's latest 10Q before investing? Yeah. So I think what Brandon is referring to, and all of this is public information. So if you go to sec.gov, and you type in any stock ticker symbol, you can have all of the 10Ks, the 10Qs, and all of that necessary information. So you can really read into the quarterly earnings report as well as the full fiscal year earnings report. You can see the balance sheet, the cash flow statement, and this is what information you utilize to build your financial models. So I would absolutely say, absolutely you should look into that and always do your due diligence. Joey says the prospectus too. Yeah, so the prospectus is something for like a mutual fund product or an investment product, right? So if you're buying into a mutual fund, you want to read those boring prospectus, because that's where they disclose all the fees. So maybe they have a front load fee or a back end load fee, and a yearly management fee, or as they call it, an expense ratio. So you definitely want to read that as well. Hey, Ibrahim Azam is here. What's up, Ibrahim? Cosmo Scary says, Tom, do you use an air purifier? I don't. And this guy's running a red light. Eve says, track will be sloppy at Belmont tomorrow. Yeah, Belmont Racetrack in Queens. Lionel says, saludos from Uruguay. What's going on? Welcome, everybody. So when it rains, it's very difficult for me to read the comments, so I apologize. Kelber says, good night from Brazil. What's up, Kelber? Danny Boy says, looks like it's raining pretty hard right now. It is raining pretty hard. Joe Hernandez, happy Thursday, Joe. Hope you're well. Snuggled and Comfy says, what motivates you to come out each night, Tom? I think it's therapeutic for me to get on the skateboard and walk around and skateboard around, because I'm stuck in my apartment on back-to-back-to-back conference calls all day. So I think this is really enjoyable, and I like talking to all of you guys. Aries Girl 52 says, what's the temperature in New York City? I believe it's about 70 degrees tonight. Joe Hernandez says, hey again, Tom, be safe. You as well, Joe. Thank you for joining. Always good to have you here. Zuma says, Yankee store, black, go Mets. All right, thanks for asking. Seems I am stuck in a loop at times. Where are the techies? Probably on some Twitch feed playing their own game. All right. Hey, William, what's going on? This is a great video. Troy 1995 says, conference call with us. So the rain is picking up again here, guys, in the city. What do you think about robo-advisors? What do I think about robo-advisors? I'm not a big fan of robo-advisors. I don't think you need them. I'm all about being self-sufficient, and I think that the average person should at least be a little bit self-sufficient on how to evaluate companies. I think at least everybody should understand how to read a cash flow statement, the balance sheet, how to decipher that, how to build your discounted cash flow models. Because investing is all about just discounting cash flows into the future. And if you read that in IBD article, and I know I've said it, I sort of sound like a broken record, but you'll find commonalities between all of these portfolio managers. So one of the stocks that these two co-portfolio managers are very long right now is Alphabet or Google. And the reason why, their reasoning behind that is they said their EPS growth, the earnings per share growth every quarter, over the past 4 quarters, it's grown 18%, 25%, 57%, and 189% in terms of their quarter-over-quarter growth. So as we talk about a lot on the stream, statistics show that over time, the price of the equity or the price of the security will follow the earnings growth of the company. So I think a lot of people should start thinking about stocks not as the lines on the chart, but the actual fundamental business. Assam M says it's difficult to find a job in New York. Not at all. I believe there's about 10 million job openings in this country right now, and they can't find anybody to work. So this is the Empire State Building. Hey, from Uruguay, what's going on? Eric says, is the China starting a housing meltdown? I don't think so. I think you're going to see bubbles in certain sectors of the economy. I think there's definitely some trouble in the real estate market in China, which we talked about 2 streams ago with the Evergrande situation. However, today, Evergrande is starting to make their interest payments on their locally denominated debt. So, I mean, and that makes sense. You know, they would pay their Chinese debtors first, as opposed to foreign debtors. Kelber says, I love the United States. Thank you, Kelber. Alan says, so glad I left New York, says Alan Mays. Hey, Kay says, good evening, stay dry. What are your short and long-term professional goals? I think short-term, I just want to just continue to grow the business. Long-term, I would think is the same thing. You know, continue to do the right thing, grow my network, close more deals, meet new people. Ren says, wow, it's really raining out now. The Mighty Bull says, watching, listening, and enjoying the walk. Thank you, the Mighty Bull. Hey, we have photos from around New York in the chat. What's up, photos? Stan says, are you into politics? I don't think anybody's into politics. I do not like politics. I don't like politicians, either Democrats or Republicans. I think a lot of them are cronies. So I'm indifferent, I would say. Can you send the rain to Arizona? I wish I could. Hey, Bruno says, hey, Tom, thanks for this. I miss my visits to New York from Melbourne, Australia. Hey, Bruno. Cheers from Melbourne. Hope you're well. Joyce says, good evening. Eric says, doesn't Miami flood on sunny days? Yes. So Miami, it's very strange. And I think this could be due to multiple factors, including climate change. But Miami experiences what's called sunny day flooding, depending on high tide. So this usually happens when there's a full moon, I should say, and high tide events. You'll actually see water backing up from the sewerways into downtown Miami. It's called sunny day flooding. DJ says, my long-term goal is to hit the Powerball on Sunday. Or on Saturday. I think that's a good short-term goal. I'm not a fan of politics either. Glad I'm not the only one. Hey, the Ralph is here. Says California needs the rain too. Stan says, are you connected with the mafia? I guess can you define mafia? Can you define that? Hey, we have DJ here. So this is the absolute front of the Empire State Building. We're on 34th Street right now. And Albert says, greetings from Mexico. What's going on, everybody from Mexico? John says, ditto, no politics. Hey, Christian says, I need a professional resume, right, to create a nice, believable story. If you want somebody to look at your resume, if you send me an email, I'll gladly look at your resume for you. I'll help you out in any way I can. I definitely will help out in any way I can. Melissa White says, Florida is beautiful. Excellent weather all year. I agree. Cosmo Scary says, Tom is offering you a stream you cannot refuse to look away from, says Cosmo Scary. Cosmo, how are you? How you been today? Hope you had a good day, Cosmo. Ireva says, are you going to miss the rain in Florida? Ireva, I think it's probably going to rain more so in Florida, isn't it? I mean, hopefully not. So Ireva, I'm headed down. I think my closing date is October 1st. October 1st. So I will be back and forth between Miami, Florida, and New York City. So don't worry, we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to be here. Hey, and I see Fernando. What's up, Fernando? Hope you're well. Hey, Rosie's here. It says, hola, hola. Welcome, Rosie. Zuma says, Florida in summer gets rain showers every afternoon. Yeah, Florida in the summer, a lot of people don't like it because it's just so humid. But I love the humidity. It's weird. I'm weird like that. I lived in the Florida Keys and it's paradise. That's awesome. Hey, Jimmy. We need more rain in California. By 2050, 2.5 feet of sea level rise predicted by New York City panel on climate change. Amazing day, says hello, Tom. I'm just trying to see the comments. They're going so fast. Zuma says I moved back up north to escape the South Carolina heat. Very nice. The humidity will keep your skin young, says Penelope. Yeah, I like it very hot and humid. I love it hot and humid, but then again, I also really like New York City. Jose Flores says good vibes. What's up, Jose? Sally says beautiful night, Tom, with the rain showers, very clear. Hope you're enjoying it, everybody. I wish I could find a job in New York City. Would love to live there. I think getting a job in New York City is relatively easier now. But if you ever need help getting a job, and if you're in the tech industry, shoot me an email, and I'll try to parade your resume around if I think you're a good fit for anybody. Hey, Jimmy's here. What's up, Jimmy? Dan says, hey, Tom, definitely rains here in Miami. Awesome. I would say it rains here every day. What's up, Dan? Will you be doing night streams in Florida? I should be doing them in Florida. Yes. Emerson says, Tom, will you be in New York by the time in Christmas? Yes, I will. I will be back in New York in Christmas. British says, Tom, put slow mode on. I think I did, but I'm not sure why. Rebus says humid weather equals nice skin. James says a lot of people are applying, then not showing up. If you're qualified, easy to get a job, but you actually have to go to the interview, says James. Yeah, I think that would be a pretty good fit to go to the interview. James, good point. Hey, Chris says, howdy all. Do you have any long position stocks that you are going to hold through the winter? Yeah, pretty much everything. Absolutely. I'm about 98% long right now. I think, so the goal is in investments, and I think a lot of people tend to be so short-sighted. You don't just want to buy and sell stocks, because number one, you're probably going to lose all of your money. And number two, you're probably going to run up a ridiculous tax bill. What you want to do is you want to find good fundamental companies with good earnings growth, and you want to hold them over longer periods of time. And this will allow you to have very large capital appreciation while reducing your overall tax bill. Caesar says, are you from New York? Yes, we are. Brandon says, what percentage of your portfolio do you have in stocks? I'm about 90% long in equities right now. Popcorn says, this rainstorm is garbage. I was expecting some mega natural disaster going on due to the dark black clouds we encountered from a distance during the evening. I was expecting more. Disappointing. Says Popcorn. Well, I'm sorry there's no natural disaster. I'm not sure why anyone would want that. Seems a tad sociopathic. Hey, Alvin Stallworth is here. Says, keep up the good work. Appreciate it, Alvin. Hope you're well. Are there any municipal bonds you recommend? For me right now, personally, I'm 26 years old, so I don't have any exposure to the bond market. I don't have any exposure to bonds. But I think as you get older, a lot of people like to increase their bond or their fixed income exposure. But for me right now, I'm not in any, so I can't really advise on that. So we're right next to the Macy's. Bruno says, hey Tom, Julie missing New York City as well. And you are standing outside of my favorite store, Victoria's Secret, says Bruno. The Ralph says, so I assume that repo market panic is over. First time hearing about it then. Yeah, I mean, I think the Fed's going to come in and backstop anything. Tax-free if you're trading in your Roth. Yes, that is true. So if you want to look up an amazing story about a Roth IRA, check out Peter Thiel. Check it out. Very interesting story. Yeah, James says no natural disasters for a while, please. So we're walking down 34th Street headed to Penn Station. Iriva says, I like a good storm, but not a natural disaster. Shane. I bought a lot of BlackRock position. Very interesting. Mark Davis says, good evening there, Tom. Hope all is well with you. Hello from Toronto. What's up, Mark? Hope you're well. You're 26, but I'm watching you anyways, says Eric. SC says, because people forget the first is safe investing. Hey Tom, what are some of your favorite musical artists? So I like all the old timers like Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra. I really like all the old classics, the Rat Pack. Cos Mitchell says, thank you for an awesome stream, no problem. Yeah, I really like the Rat Pack. If anybody's familiar with them, love them. Eek says you are an old soul. You're an old soul, Tom. This guy's awfully nice to be a New Yorker, says Jeannie. Appreciate it, thank you. Yaman is here. What's going on, Yaman? James Brumley says rock and roll. Do you ever invest in stocks with negative earnings, says Brandon? Never. So I won't touch any stocks that don't have earnings. So for example, a company that I'm actually watching right now, and I was going to make it the topic of today's stream, it's a company called Toast. So check it out. This is not, I would never buy a new IPO, and we've talked about why before, but this company I've been following for a long time, even in the private market. It's called Toast. It's not yet profitable, but I think this company is one to watch over the next 1 to 2 years. But again, in my personal opinion, I never buy a stock if it's been on the exchange for less than a year. Never. You have to be able to understand exactly what an IPO is, and quite literally, an initial public offering is the transfer of ownership from the private market to the public shareholders, like mutual funds, people like us, retail investors. And during that transfer, there's a lot of buying and selling of stock. So the volatility is just too much for me to stomach. And usually people get shaken out of their IPO positions and lose a lot of money. All right, so everybody, I'll let you guys decide where we should go. Should we walk down to Madison Square Park, or do you want to go to the Hudson Yards? We could go to the Hudson Yards tonight, or we could go to Koreatown and Madison Square Park. Ed says sometimes by the time there are earnings, it's too late. Statistically, that's incorrect, but I do agree. I sort of agree with your assessment there, but the majority of companies that have the greatest capital appreciation are profitable companies. Pineapple Water says you won't buy at the IPO, but you probably would before, depending on company. But yeah, I mean, if you can get in. If you can get in like what an institution's getting in, then yeah. Either one, Madison Square Park. Hey, Rusty is really enjoying your show. Appreciate it. Brandon says, what's better to look at, a current, trailing, or forward PE? I don't look at any of that, in my opinion. I don't look at any of that. So we'll go to the Hudson Yards. I've been seeing a lot of the Hudson Yards. So I don't look at PE ratio, and I'll tell you why. I think the environment, and this is not advice, I'm just telling you guys what I do. Because oftentimes people will say, oh, this company is trading at, you know, 100 or a 200 PE ratio, it's overvalued, it's garbage stock. But in this new world of central banking and artificially low interest rates and a very accommodative Fed, it's come about very, very high growth companies. So especially in the SaaS industry, software as a service. So some of these companies are growing their EPS 100% quarter over quarter, growing their revenue 100% quarter over quarter. And these tend to demand very premium valuations, extreme premium valuations. So there's an old saying on Wall Street that companies are cheap for a reason, and companies are expensive for a reason. So if you think about companies like a Zscaler or a CrowdStrike, you know, look at these sky-high astronomical PE ratios. Right, if you were a classic value investor, you would say, I would never buy this. This is garbage. This is junk. And then they see these stocks hitting all-time record highs day after day. It's because institutions are willing to pay for earnings predictability. They're willing to pay for the quality and the predictability of those earnings. But some people will look at, you know, a name, oh, this only has a 9 PE ratio. This only has a 10 PE ratio. Or something crazy, or something very low. But oftentimes these stocks are trading at low multiples for a reason. There's a reason for that. Yeah, Ed. So Ed says, I always thought Salesforce was overvalued. I mean, even when Salesforce, you know, in 2013, 2014, I remember all of these analysts coming on CNBC saying Salesforce is way overvalued. The company's tripled since then. So it's sort of like this. This is how I think about it, and let me know what you guys think. A car is a car, right? You can buy a Bentley, but a Bentley's probably going to be, I don't know, $100,000, $200,000 car. You could buy a Rolls Royce, it's a $200,000 car. Or you could buy a Toyota Camry, which is a $30,000 car. Both cars get you to they do the same thing, but one of them's a better quality, right? So it demands a premium. The Toyota Camry is a $30,000 car for a reason. It's just a normal, regular car. But premium merchandise, premium companies that have phenomenal fundamentals usually tend to trade at a higher premium, higher multiples. So that's really the way I try to explain it. And especially in this environment where the Federal Reserve is being extremely accommodative, Hey, Tom Thorpe says, hey, Tom, it's Tom from London. What's up, Tom Thorpe? James says, the best day in a boat owner's life is the day he and she buys and sells the boat, says James. Hey, Brittany McMurdy's here. Says, evening, Tom. Be safe out there. Appreciate it. How are you, Brittany? Cosmo says, I sold my Apple stock to my parents in 2013. I regret it. James says, our government just wants the tax money and not do any work. Texas is peg ratio. Hope you have waterproof shoes on, says Jimmy. We don't. Yeah, I didn't buy Cisco because it has a high PE. Yeah, so just always think about that. Think about the quality of the earnings growth. The quality of the earnings growth. So right now we are near the new Penn Station, or the Moynihan train station. Kelber says, are you from America? Yep, we're from America. Kyle says, with Walmart and Amazon struggling at the moment, I think Kmart would be a good investment. They are going to come back and take over market dominance, says Kyle. I'm not sure I agree with that, Kyle, but I do respect your comment. Something to look into. Charles says, Tom, what game are you currently playing? I don't really play video games, and I apologize about that. Yeah, Tom, Twitter did roll out Bitcoin tipping today. That is pretty interesting. Ruth is here. Donato says, hi from Italy. I love the Big Apple. Cheers. Awesome. Hey, I see Charlie Richardson in here. What's up, Charlie? Yeah, I just use the car analogy. I don't even drive cars. I'm not a big car guy. I just don't really like cars, to be honest. But I'm just using the analogy in terms of like quality. Yaman says, respect. What's going on? MSG, New Jersey water drains. There's heavy downpour heading that way from New Jersey. Maria O says, I agree with you, Tom. As for Kmart making a comeback, I didn't say that. I think somebody else in the stream said that. I'm not endorsing that about Kmart. I don't know anything about Kmart, but somebody else did. So maybe there's some validity behind that, and I'll have to look into it. I'll definitely have to look into it. Respect from Libya. Hey, everybody from Libya. Jennifer says, ooh, how pretty. I fudged up large by not selling in February of 2021. Hey, Sabrina's here, says hi, Tom. Jason says hello from Los Angeles. Fred T says LOL Kmart. Hey, I mean, maybe he's right. I'll have to look into it. I've never been in a Kmart. I think I've only been in a Kmart one time. The only Kmart I know is the one that was on Astor Place, and it actually just went out of business. It just closed down. But I will check out Kmart. I'll check out the financials, and we'll see if there's anything there. James Brimley says Starbucks, SBUX, or Dunkin' Donuts. I don't think Dunkin' Donuts is publicly traded anymore, but I would say ticker symbol SBUX. Yaman says, do you know Libya? Yes, I've definitely heard of Libya. So we are at 34th Street, Penn Station, everybody. Mark Davis says, Tom, are you already packed up for the move? Is everything okay there? Yeah, so I think I'm gonna have to rent like a Sprinter van, which I'm not looking forward to. So I may have to do that tomorrow. Joey says Kmart will not come back. I mean, I'm gonna look into it now because I'm very interested in it. Hey, Graphics Princess says, hello, Tom. Will you still do live streams when you move to Florida? Yes, we will still be doing. Kyle says it's like investing in a dead man. Nobody wants to invest in a bankrupt company. So if they get lucky and somehow come back, then you own large amounts of stock since nobody else wanted it. Very interesting. So you're planning on like a post-bankruptcy play. Brandon says, someone once told me Apple was bankrupt in 2007, 2008, which I bought 200 shares and so glad I did. Brandon, that's awesome. That's awesome. Melissa White is worried about the economy crash and stock market crash. What are your thoughts, Tom? So my thoughts are, in this environment, the worse the economic news we get, I think the higher the equities markets will go, as crazy as that sounds. Hey, Cheryl Kaufman says, hi, Tom. What's up, Cheryl? So I think the worse the economic news, the higher the stock market's going to go. Because if anybody watched the stream yesterday, we talked about the power of central banking and the Federal Reserve, the European Central Bank. So just for example, today we got first-time unemployment claims. Over 300,000 people applied for first-time unemployment. Terrible, horrendous economic news. And I think as more bad economic news rolls out, the higher the equities market's going to go over time, because the Federal Reserve is going to continue to put their foot to the floor with easy money policies. FA says, hey, Tom, what's up? What's up, FA? Ed, I see you in here. Eric says, aren't you afraid that you haven't seen the full cycle of the stock market like in 2002 and 2008 firsthand? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we've been studying it, but it's definitely a lot different trading through it. I definitely do agree with you. So we'll see, but I think central banking has changed the game, and liquidity has changed the game. And my take is everybody claims to know when the bubble's gonna pop. I think that's quite disingenuous. Nobody knows when the bubble's gonna pop. Nobody, not me, not anybody else. So the way I theorize it is you gotta just take the market that you have and not speculate on when things could happen. You gotta go off the data that you have now. And the data that we have now is a very accommodative Federal Reserve.
I'll be back. I've already done my last interview was the final round.
Hey Fred, what's going on? Nobody knows, Michael, that's why they're called bubbles, indeed. Michael Burry called the top in the stock market in 2008, but that was due to the housing crisis, the mortgage crisis. Does New York have a dome over it? Sounds like you are in a gymnasium. Indeed we do. Yemen says, I swear to God, I will travel to New York. You gotta come. Steve Blades says, yo, Tom, all back on the road again. Yes, we are, Steve. Yes, we are. Unfortunately, we are long overdue for economic correction, says Ralph. Yeah, Ralph, I think in terms of the economy, I think that the things that personally, I think that there's a very, very big disparity between the stock market and the economy. I don't think the stock market is the economy. I think, as a percentage of GDP, the United States is actually contracting at its fastest rate ever in history right now, as a percentage of GDP. So I don't think the economy is doing well. I think the stock market is doing well. The economy and the stock market are very, very incongruous. Zuma is here. Good to see you, Zuma. Linear says hi. Steve says Walmart in the UK is called ASDA. Sorry for the caps. No problem. Edgar says, Tom, do you think Blockbuster can come back as a video rental? I don't think so. Could be wrong, but I don't think so. It could maybe come back as like a meme or something. Somebody may resurrect it as like a meme for fun, and it may catch a trend for like a year or so. James says, I don't know how people can sleep in New York City. So if I sleep like in the wilderness, I'll have extreme anxiety and I can't fall asleep. I need chaos. I need loud noise, or else I can't fall asleep. James says Netflix took care of Blockbuster. Hey, did anybody see that? So I was on Twitter last night, and the CEO of Uber, somebody took a picture of the CEO of Uber riding the subway. It was hilarious. The CEO of Uber, you'd think you'd take Uber. Zuma says someone could potentially buy Blockbuster name and logo like Pan Am. Very interesting. Chris says, why are all wet shirt? Zap Balance says, oh my God, I remember Blockbuster as a kid and going with my parents picking out movies. Hey, Charlie says, ¿Cómo estás? Muy bien, y tú? Muy bien, Charlie. Hey, Bowser's here. Flavio says, hi, Tom. Mary Cat says, stay off the fake grass. Penelope says, nope, I managed a record/video store for 15 years. Witnessed the digital takeover. Yeah, as they say, if you don't adapt, you will die. If you don't adapt, you will die. The Mighty Bull, always good to see the Mighty Bull, says, I don't know how the immigrants have priority over the homeless population in America, says the Mighty Bull. Ed says, Citrovia, yes, we are at Citrovia. I would rather own a Kroger, I think, than a Blockbuster. Brandon says, our theater's coming back. Your camera looks clear, says Scenario 101, thank you. Where do you purchase your stocks, says Cheryl? I use Interactive Brokers, and Charles Schwab is my preferred brokers. Cosmos Series says, wow, the Uber CEO was riding in the subway, not even taking an Uber. Yeah, that was yesterday. It was hilarious. Linear says, not fake, but fine. Allow face masks with no face mask because President Joe Biden tell. Not sure what that means. British Gray says, Chris from Shark Tank. He's the CEO of Uber. Sorry for the caps. Sabrina says, the lighting is gorgeous. Eric says, I remember Kramer calling the market bottom in March 2003. Bowser says, Tom, do you ever think New York is a safer place for you? I don't even think about really safety that much. I just sort of live my life, not really worried. Like, everything's gonna be fine, I think, Bowser. I think everything's gonna be fine. Trust me, trust me. New York is a very safe city. I don't think there's anything to worry about. We have the best police department in the entire world, as well as the best fire department. Eris Girl says, that's pretty. Isn't this really cool? This is Citrovia here. Penelope says, remember the don't step on the grass sign. Cheryl says, what camera are you filming in? We are filming on the iPhone 11. Mr. World Smaya says, speaking of content, any thoughts on the possible pending film production strike? I'm actually not familiar with that at all. Could you please let us know? I'd love to know more about that. Joey says, Tom, have you been to Chicago? I have not, but I would really, really love to go to Chicago. I would really love to go to Chicago. Check these out. These are so cool. Disney cast member says, reminds me of Willy Wonka. What street on the Upper West Side do you live on? I guess you could call it kind of Midtown. I live on 59th Street. Vista Pacifica says, good evening, Tom. Hope everyone in the chat is having a wonderful night. Thank you, Vistas. Appreciate you. Franklin says, hey, Tom, good evening. What's up, Franklin from Germany? Good to have you here. Germany is 6 a.m. Wow. Sleep Half says, why do you speak the way you do? I'm not sure. Not sure. Arnaldo says, hello from Brazil. Welcome, everybody from Brazil. I have never been anywhere in Europe, DJ. Never been anywhere in Europe. What's up, Roy? How are you? Sleep Half says, why are you not sure the way you speak? I don't know. I think everybody just speaks whatever way they want. Mark Davis says, Tom, thank you for the Dakota picture. Absolutely. So Mark Davis loves the Dakota. And the Dakota apartments are on 72nd Street in Central Park West. Beautiful, beautiful place. No Self says, hi, Tom. What are your thoughts on AMC's plans to accept crypto as a payment? Good idea. I think they're really just doing that to attract more investment from retail so that they could sell stock to raise money. I don't really think they're doing it as a business play. I don't think they really care, to be honest. I think it's more just like a publicity stunt. So I don't think it's of anything of validity. I think they're just doing it to bring attention to the company. And I think it's working. Hey, Zap Allen. Hey, Sabrina says, hey, is that the Pelotons in New York City? Yeah, so I think this is the Peloton headquarters. Actually, I think it's 2 blocks over. James is 904 Harrisburg, California. 3D Planet says, hi, wow, that is really beautiful. Spot blue colors with the orange. Every time you come here, I get a craving for lemonade. DJ says, Tom, you sound like a gentleman. Thank you. Peloton the movie. Look at how gorgeous this restaurant looks, everybody. Check it out. Look at the interior of this. RY Box 20 says, can I borrow 200K? Very quiet night at the Hudson Yards. I think they did a phenomenal job at the Hudson Yards. They did a great job here. Gavin says, hey, Tom, How you doing? Hi everybody in the chat. Hope you're well and safe. 5 o'clock in the morning here in the UK. Awesome. That's great. The Mighty Bull says people who are fully vaccinated are still getting COVID-19. Go figure. Well, hopefully that subsides. Mark Davis says, Tom, I saw Mark Benioff's comments about Facebook today. Interesting. Yeah, so Mark, did you ever wind up finishing the book Trailblazer? It's one of my favorite books is Trailblazer. Is this a live chat? Says Daniel. Indeed it is, Daniel. James says, wear a mask, why not? Elizabeth says it's in the 40s here tonight. Wow, Elizabeth, that's crazy. Ryan Royal says, I love the lighted walkway. It's really beautiful here at the Hudson Yards. Eric T says, since you don't show yourself on camera, I think everyone has a made-up image of you, Eric T. Very interesting. So it was funny. I think a lot of people, some people were emailing me asking me if I am, what's his name? Walking commuter. They're like, hey, are you also a walking commuter? And I said, yeah, I am. I think that's kind of funny. They say we sound the same. I like walking commuter. I watch his, he's up early. He's an early riser sometimes too. It's kind of cool to see New York walking to work that early. I enjoy it. DJ says, are stocks really equivalent to gambling? I think if you make it out to be, I think if you get your investing advice off of Reddit, then it is. But if you do the research and do the work and you understand how to evaluate a company, I don't think so. I think they would be called investments. James says, I like watching Las Vegas streams too. I do as well. I love Las Vegas streams. Vista Pacifica says, I'm in Texas and we were over 100 degrees yesterday. This morning it was nearly 58. Crazy weather. Wow. That is crazy. Elizabeth says, Tom, do you work on the weekends? I do, unfortunately, but I'm just trying to get the business off the ground. Quant Developer FinTech is here. What's up, Quant Developer FinTech? Says, without purpose, everything is gambling. Wow, that's a really good quote. I'm actually going to screenshot that and keep that. World's Place is Strike IATSE, 150K members, basically all theater and movie content created by IATSE, and they may strike tomorrow. It'll impact all media from Comcast to Netflix, etc. Wow. So what is the reason why they're striking? Is it because they want better benefits, or what is the reasoning behind that? Isha says, what's up, bro? Love your content. Just subscribed. Hey, thank you. Did you go to the vessel? There, those steps are crazy, but good exercise. Yeah, we're headed there right now, and I appreciate you subscribing. Eric says, I noticed a lot of YouTube day traders lost money in today's crazy action. Every day trader loses money. There's not one profitable day trader on the planet, except for the big quant market making firms like Citadel, 2 Sigma. But if you're a retail day trader, all of them lose money. It's just 90, like everybody loses money. And it's a waste of time. You know, why would you want to sit in front of a computer screen and, you know, trying to make 300, 400 bucks watching a bunch of lines go up and down on a chart? It's ridiculous. I think you should focus on getting really good at what you're good at, right? So if you're a software engineer, get really good at that so you can make a lot of money from doing that. If you're a really good nurse, try to be the best nurse as possible and make a lot of money doing that. If you're a chef, try to make a lot of money, try to be the best at what you're good at, right? And then use the cash flows from what you're good at to invest over long periods of time to compound out your wealth. Not sitting in front of a computer trying to make 300 bucks. I mean, that's just my opinion. Look, this is a very opinionated sort of statement, but it is based in reality, because if you look at the data, day trading does not work, especially now due to the volatility is in decline. And as a trader, you do need volatility. All right, everybody, so we are at the vessel at the Hudson Yards. Very rainy night. Hey, Sydney's from Brazil. I have not purchased an Xbox. Daniel, yeah, so Daniel brings up a good point. The majority of gains are made outside of market hours. That is true. So if you're not sitting in the market, so here's a big misconception. A lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want to hold my stocks through earnings because of the risk of the volatility." If you ever want to make big money, you have to hold through earnings reports. I mean, the statistics show if you can buy a good company and hold it through 6 beat and raise quarters, that stock is on average going to go up 80%. So it's a must to hold through earnings reports. And that's correct. The majority of the stock market action, the majority of the gains actually happens after hours. Lewis says the vessel is amazing. Zuma says I've been a successful day trader. Just be smart about it, says Zuma. Charlie Richardson says I really want your business to do extremely well. Thank you. Likewise. Cheryl Lee says I love New York City rainy nights, so we're here at the Hudson Yards, everybody. Ryan Royal says the vessel kind of looked like a cup of coffee. Most people just don't have discipline to cut their losses over leverage and have no patience to succeed as a trader. There's traders who have been successful. Oh, absolutely. But I'm talking about like day traders. I think the question was day traders. So buying and selling stocks in the same day. It's just over the long term, it's statistically not profitable or possible. Ren 1018 says, can you run for mayor? Absolutely not. I hate politics. I don't want anything to do with it. Yeah, Daniel says, I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like it either, but it kind of does, it looks mesmerizing. Disney cast members is expecting rain in Arizona for the next 7 days. Well, I think that's a good thing, isn't it, Disney? Chris S. says Home Depot is going to 160s. When it does, buy anything you want. It will fall with the market, says Chris S. Brandy says, Tom, which failed investments taught you the most? I think I've talked about this before. So when Donald Trump was first elected, my thesis was to go long a lot of offshore drilling companies. So like Transocean, I think their ticker symbol was RIG. I think they've actually been through post-bankruptcy now, but this was way back when I was in college. I was maybe even in high school. I was really young and stupid. And I'm like, Donald Trump's going to open up all the regulations on oil, especially offshore drilling companies. But at the time, I was just coming up with investment ideas based on opinions. So I'm like, I'll buy all of these offshore drilling stocks. And all of them pretty much went to zero. So, yeah, that was my biggest lesson. Don't buy offshore drilling stocks that are going to go through bankruptcy. but that was when I was young and stupid. Eric says, Tom, it looks like a wonderfully night up there. It's really beautiful, but very, very rainy. Mark Davis says, Tom, Toronto got hit by heavy rain yesterday, most of the day. Lisa says, Seaspiracy movie. Lisa loves the Seaspiracy movie. Every night in the chat, without fail, Seaspiracy. I have to watch that movie and I will get back to you, I promise. Disney cast member says now we get flooded and landslides when it rains for a period of time, especially after the fires. Oh, you're right, because it burns all the vegetation. Interesting. I never even thought about that, Disney cast member, but that's a big problem because there's a ton of fires out there now. Hey, Paul Little says, sup, Tom? Bowser says, hello there, I just realized that the live stream is no longer than I thought. Is longer than you thought. Nice. Zap Balance says, Tom, I hope you continue to work hard on your YouTube business when you're in Florida. I hope you realize how big your channel could be, says Zap Allen. I'll try to do my best. I really appreciate it, though. Mr. Worlds Maya says, chiefly inequality in pay, working hours, and conditions. Also how Netflix, Amazon, etc. monetize content is a real issue as well. If your major studios can survive not releasing new content, it's going to be ugly. Wow, I did not know about that, and I do appreciate you bringing that to my attention, because it seems like that could have significant ramifications. So thank you for that. I'm serious, thank you. Hey, the Bindari boys. What's up, Bindari boys? Tom, speak the word good evening in Portuguese. Boa noite. I'm terrible at other languages, I apologize. Chris S says, that sucks. I took a $50,000 loss on an earnings play. Lessons learned, says Chris. Elizabeth says, I read an article they will be closing over 200 Aldi grocery stores next year. Really? That's crazy. Could you put that in the chat? I would actually like to see that. Roy says, I strongly believe that Tom's subscribers will hit 4K before they move to Miami. Good job, bro. Appreciate it, Roy. Always good having you here. Eric says, have all the FANG companies peaked? I don't think even close. Not even close in my opinion. Portuguese is a tough one, indeed. Hudson Yards is sort of Century City on steroids, says Ed. Mr. World says, you're welcome and thank you, Tom. Yeah, I had no idea about that strike. So maybe we'll see some protests in the city about it. Stan says, go up to the vessel. All right, we'll do that right now, but we cannot walk on the vessel. Brandy says, when I first started, I was timid and invested a good percentage of my capital in Coca-Cola due to it being a blue chip. Coca-Cola has taught me the most about opportunity cost. Not a failed investment, but opportunity cost. I think that's a phenomenal observation. Definitely you have to factor in opportunity cost, because even though Coca-Cola is a profitable business, as we were talking about earlier in the stream, it's probably not going to have that much capital appreciation because all of the growth is already baked into the stock. It's not like Coca-Cola is some revolutionary software product that's going to change the world. It's soda, right? It's consumer products. So there's really no more room for growth there, right? It's just a very stable company over time, but there's no real growth. And the stock market is a discounting mechanism into the future. This is the vessel. Brandy says, agree, Tom. Yeah, so Brandy, that's a great, you know, what you just said is actually really ties into what we were talking about before, when value investors say, oh, I'm not going to buy anything with a high PE ratio because it's overvalued. But if you buy something like Coca-Cola, you know, you're not going to get the explosive gains as like a big software company or buying Alphabet or something like that. So really good observation there, Brandy. Hey, Ralph is here, says beautiful views, thanks. Lisa says the Cove movie and Seaspiracy. Lisa, I promise you, Lisa, I will watch Seaspiracy and the Cove. Hey, the Quant Developer FinTech says good night, everybody, and very good live stream session. Hey, thank you, the Quant Developer FinTech. Thank you for always joining and being a part of the chat. I do appreciate you. Have a fantastic, hey, happy Friday too. Happy Friday. Daniel says, what do you think about cryptocurrency? I think the vast majority of it is a fraud. However, I do have exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think in terms of a global macro view in the scope of Bitcoin, I think its value lies in the form of remittance payments all over the world. So a lot of companies, smaller companies, the majority of their GDP is actually denominated in remittances, which is actually sending money back and forth between countries. So for example, if somebody works in the United States, but they have family overseas in El Salvador or something like that, it's very expensive for them to send money home through one of these major, payment or cash exchange places. They could charge something like 20% or something like that. But if you have like a digital currency with very low transaction fees, it makes it easier for you to send payments across the border. So that's where I see the value in Bitcoin. I really don't speculate into it. I've just denominated a portion of my net worth to it that I just hold. I don't really trade these sort of assets, and I really don't speculate in any of the other crazy alternative coins. Hey, Jason says, good night, Tom. I'm going to bed. Jason, thank you so much for joining. As always, pleasure having you here. Lou72 says, Coca-Cola, my grandmother called them dopes. Interesting. So this is the Hudson Yards, and you can see where all of the Long Island Railroad trains are. Daniel says, crypto is so much more than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yeah, I think over time, as things develop, all of the bad actors in the space will be washed out. But I really think that'll only happen unless the SEC steps in here and regulates it, which I think it will happen in due time. There's nothing inside the vessel per se, it's just a monument. Herbert says, I always enjoy your New York City walks. I guess the city is not as bad as the media portrays it. Yes, don't listen to the mainstream media. New York City is just fine. What do you think about the sneaker market? It's really changed over the years, especially Nike. Well, I think Crocs is a really big trend now, isn't it? I think Crocs stock just hit another all-time record high. Penelope says, I wonder what the market did with the Coca-Cola from old to new Coke. That was a big deal. I'll have to look it up. Interesting. Nick Jones says, great stream, great pictures of the Hudson Yards. Hope you all are enjoying. Lee says there's over 4,000 cryptocurrencies, which is not patentable, says Lee. Daniel says, I think crypto and underlying blockchain technology is probably going to be the most transformative than any other tech in human history by removing the need for trust between parties. And Daniel, I think you're probably right. But I think these technologies need to develop over time. So you were probably going to see many big boom and bust cycles that are exacerbated. AI says, Tom, are you familiar with SurveyMonkey? Yeah, they were just bought by somebody, I believe. Thoughts on their stock? SurveyMonkey. No, I'm thinking about MailChimp. MailChimp was just bought by somebody. But I'm not familiar with that, but I will have to take a look, so I don't have any thoughts on the stock because I'm not familiar with it. Paul says, Tom, what's the current capital gains rate? Are you talking about long-term capital gains or short-term capital gains? Daniel says, yeah, you're right. Yeah, and so Daniel, I think you'll probably... So here's something I was thinking about, right? And we were talking about this on another stream. Somebody says, are you sure this is an iPhone 11? I'm positive. So a lot of well-known people on Wall Street are shifting some of their talent and assets to the cryptocurrency space. Now, I think that's something to take note of, but what I will say is, all of these celebrities that are out promoting these scams, quite frankly, I could call them scams, these alternative coins and these NFTs and things like that, there's going to be hell to pay for that. And they may not think there will be because the SEC doesn't regulate this. But they will regulate it, and they will be getting a knock on their door within 5 years. That's the statute of limitations for soliciting all these securities, because they are securities. So that's number one. Number two, what is interesting to me is that there's a big talent shift, or what's starting to me that seems to be a brain drain from traditional finance into fintech and cryptocurrency and mobile payments. That is true. That is happening. So for example, Michael Novogratz was a former managing director at Goldman Sachs. Then he was the hedge fund manager at Fortress Investment Group. Now, he just created a company called Galaxy Digital Assets, where he's currently actively headhunting former investment bankers and traders to work at Fortress Investment. Not at Fortress, at Galaxy Digital. And Galaxy Digital is pretty much an intermediary to help institutional investors on board to get exposure into cryptocurrency markets. So there are developments happening in these markets that are real, but I think it's going to take some time for things to make some big moves. But I do have exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I don't speculate in anything else. Daniel says, I don't think the SEC will go after before scamming in crypto before they enter the regulation. Probably everything before that time period will be unpunished. Trust me. If I was a betting person, they're gonna what they're gonna do is they're gonna pick like the top 3 celebrities that have been promoting these frauds to their fan base, and they're gonna hammer these guys, and they're gonna come down hard. BR says, I've been there. It looks like a spaceship, alien spaceship. Eric Texas says, what do you think of Car Shield and similar services home warranty? I've never even heard of that. So I cannot comment on that. Car Shield. I don't drive a car either, so I'm probably not the best person to ask. Loose 72 says, lots of scams all around, indeed. So check this out. Look at this. This looks pretty cool. This is inside the Hudson Yards building. Hey, Fred, take it easy. John C says, good night, Fred. Very beautiful in here. Check out the floors of this place. The floors are just beautiful in here. This is at the Hudson Yards. Wow. Melissa White says the rain makes for good sleeping weather. BR says beautiful. Nick Jones says, I used to sit outside the office at Fortress on 54th Street and Avenue of the Americas. He's lost a ton of money for them. Nice guy and a killer office, says Nick Jones. What is up with the floor, Tom? I'm not sure. I think it's beautiful. It looks beautiful. Penelope says transfer to digital from analog is always difficult. Not sure it will ever happen with currency. I think it's going to happen with currency. In other countries, it's already happened. Cynthia says, oh my God. Hi, what's up, Cynthia? How are you? So another prominent hedge fund manager that owns the New York Mets has actually made a private investment into a cryptocurrency trading firm all the people who started the firm were working on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, I believe, for GDS or GTS. I forget what the company's called, the exact acronym. I'm kind of drawing a blank here. Hey, THINH says, hi, what's going on? Beep says, open home. Charlie Richardson says, if everything becomes digital, what about those who are less tech savvy, says Charlie Richardson? I think they're going to have to adapt, unfortunately. Eric says, Tom, do you get the memo on the TPS report cover sheet? Did you get the memo on the... I have not, Eric. I have not. Yes, Ed, Steve Cohen, the owner of the New York Mets, and .72 Asset Management. Daniel says, the more I learn about blockchain and smart contracts, the more I realize just how transformative the technology is. It will truly change the structure of our society. I agree. I think it's going to make a lot of back-end office work obsolete. And hopefully it'll lower a lot of the fees in real estate, because the closing costs that go into real estate is just astronomical. So I think if you can do that all over some sort of smart contract, it's going to make things a lot easier. It's going to remove all that garbage title insurance and all this other nonsense. .72 is right next to you at 55 Hudson. This is Nick Jones. I thought they were on Madison Avenue. Lee Mubai says, do you have any experience in Forex or trading Forex? No, I do not. I do not trade Forex. Do not.
145 something like that.
Yeah, Daniel, I think that's an interesting proposition. I'm not sure it eliminates it altogether, but I do. I guess I agree and disagree. I think you make good points. Oh, Nick Jones says they moved. They got 2 floors. Wow, that's a beautiful building. I know they could afford it, so that's awesome. Hey, Joe Hernandez says, good night, Tom, and stay safe. Thank you, Joe. No Self says, if you could only invest in one stock market sector, which would it be and why? It would be in the tech sector, because every company on the face of the planet is essentially a tech company now. Data and software is essentially eating the world. And the companies that will do the best and will perform the best over time, in my opinion, are the companies who have access to the most data. Because if you have access to data, you can predict customer behavior, buying habits, and you could more easily streamline order processes and workflows. So I think those companies that are going to win are going to have access to the most amount of data. And I also think that for pure play AI companies too. So artificial intelligence and machine learning require massive amounts of data, terabytes worth of data. So we're coming up on Madison Square Garden again. I think we'll walk up 8th Avenue. I don't think we've ever walked up 8th Avenue on the stream. So we'll check that out. Yeah, man just casually creates a now $1 trillion asset. Isn't that crazy? That is kind of crazy to think about. I think all the new office buildings here at Hudson Yards are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So Google actually just made the biggest acquisition of a piece of office space on the west side of Manhattan. I think they spent about $1.6 billion. So all the people that were talking about how New York is never going to come back, New York is dead, I think they're being proven wrong. I think New York is going to come back stronger than ever. I'm very bullish on New York long term, because this is where the most talent is. If you think about, if you're a company or you're a startup, the number one thing that you want to do is you want to attract people that are very highly educated to work for your company. And there's a lot of talent in New York State, and there's a lot of talent in California. And I think New York City has so much to offer, just from a perspective of living here, that so many young people want to live here. Yeah, Charlie Richardson says, wow, that's a lot of money spent. It really is. It really is. And I think also Facebook just bought a section of the new, I think right here, right to the right of us in the new train station, Moynihan train station. Hey, Sergio says, good night, beautiful images. Thank you, Sergio. Always good to see you here. DJ, good to see you too. Ish Tucker says, I read there might be a solar storm possible happening in the coming years, where a few before that I read about, but with technology now, that will be devastating. Yeah, I mean, whatever happens, happens. There's those things like that, it's really not even worth worrying about. If there's a solar storm, we get a blast by the sun and we all die, there's nothing I can do about it, so might as well not even worry about it. Hey, Sam is from Toronto. What's up, Sam? How are you? Good to have you here. ZOOR is here. Zubzor. Empire State. Yeah, guys, look at this view of the Empire State Building. It looks great. Ed Podcast says, why are you moving to Florida? Mainly just due to business and tax reasons. It's very difficult to operate a business in New York, especially if you're a startup. And I love the beautiful weather in Florida, so I will be back and forth. Random Videos says, hey, I'm walking here, forget about it. What's going on, Random Videos? Zap Balance is Solar Blast, that would be scary. Hey, Josh Cooknell says, I'm here from Ohio. We love Ohio. What's going on, everybody in Ohio? ZOOR says, how are you? I'm doing really good. Daniel says, they should make that city careless. Chris Hoffman says, the green color, or the green was a cooler color on the Empire State Building. I agree. But the white kind of looks cool with the cloud, doesn't it? Check out the cloud right there. New York City is for the young and the rich, says Nick Jones. Hello from India. Ed Podcast says, you're doing awesome for only 26. Ed, you're awesome, dude. I love Corning, New York. So Ed Podcast is our pal from Corning, New York. Corning is beautiful in upstate New York. Patrick O'Neill says, you're in the a-hole of the city. Have you played The Division, says Patrick. Not sure what that is. Chair says, there are no taxes in Texas. Why so many people move here? I love Texas as well. Hey, Max says, hola from Hawaii. What's up, everybody from Hawaii? Welcome. Sabrina says, thanks, Tom, and have a great Friday. You too, Sabrina. Always a pleasure talking to you. New York City, 24 hours busy. It is. Watching from San Diego, California, says George Lopez. What's up, George? William Wilson says, hey, from Orleans, New York. Hey, Olaf from Maui. We have a lot of Hawaiian viewers. Patrick O'Neill, your name reminds me of William J. O'Neill. William J. O'Neill is the owner, or the former owner, but the founder of Investors Business Daily. And they just sold to News Corporation for, I believe, $250 million. That's Rupert Murdoch's company. World never sleeps on goes to bed. Patrick O'Neill says, I'm from Boston. Love Boston. Boston's a beautiful city. I really want to go to Fenway Park. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I think that's one of the things I really want to do is take a look at Fenway Park and watch a baseball game, even though I don't really know anything about baseball. But it's a very famous stadium, so I want to check it out. Patrick O'Neill says, me too, not as much as I love New York. Yeah, but so my brother lives in Boston now, and I really have to go up and see him. But Boston's a great city, great city. Sam says, I'm not a Boston fan. Yankee fan forever says, can't wait for the Knicks games. Go Knicks. Here we go, Madison Square Garden, MSG right here. Disney cast member says, I think of Ed O'Neill. Penelope says, sunshine. What's up, Penelope? That was the first cat I ever saw in Midtown Manhattan, ever. It was just a cat that ran by. Kay Wade says, hey Tom, I appreciate your dedication for being outside. Appreciate it. Data science and machine learning are fascinating. Indeed they are. James, it is better there at night. New York City is better at night. Okay. This is Josh. Interesting. The way MSG is lit up is amazing. I agree. Melee says, just became a member. Hey, Melee, thank you. I appreciate everybody supporting the channel. So for anybody who doesn't know, I will be posting a newsletter on the community page every Sunday night. So I was going to email it to everybody, but I understand that some people are not comfortable with disclosing their email address, which I understand. So we will have the newsletter up every Sunday night on the community page. And we'll do a full markets a look ahead. And I'll do a report on the major companies that are reporting earnings, and I'll provide the links to those conference calls. So if anybody is interested in specific companies that maybe you own in your portfolio, what I highly suggest you do is go to the investor relations page to all of your companies that you own, and you have to listen in on the conference calls. You have to see what's going on with these companies. Are the earnings decelerating? Are the earnings increasing? Is the revenue increasing? How many deals are they closing? You know, you have to look at all the metrics. So we will be posting that every Sunday night. Ooh, somebody just asked a question about Billy Joel. I gotta find that. Roy says, which artist performs the most in Madison Square Garden? Is it Billy Joel? Big fan of Billy Joel. Big fan of Billy Joel. I'm actually not sure about that. It could be Billy Joel. I hope it is. Hey, Iran Tourism says everything in this video is perfect. I really do enjoy it. Well, thank you, and hope everything's going well over there in Iran. Ish Tucker says Jay-Z could potentially perform the most. This channel is good to me because I'm learning English. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm trying to become fluent in Spanish as well as Korean. Penelope says, Tom, that is so kind of you. Seriously looking forward to the newsletter. Thank you, Penelope. Penelope, I have to come back to Tennessee as well. I haven't been to Tennessee in a long, long time. I'd like to go again. Cynthia says, I'm learning English here too, as well as Spanish. Abe says, Tom, are you a stockbroker? No, I work in tech. I work in tech. At one point, Elton John held the all-time record for the greatest number of appearances at the Garden with 64 shows. Wow. Disney, how many appearances does Billy Joel have? Ed Podcast says, we are all in debt, Tom. Yeah, every American citizen technically is because of our national debt. We all have a share of our national debt. Josh says, who's your favorite artist? Dean Martin. Dean Martin is my favorite artist. It takes 15 hours to get to New York from Korea. Want to go soon. Hey, I want to visit Osan, Korea. But 안녕하세요, Prince Ice. Ryan Royal says, we would love you in Tennessee. I would want to get your autograph. If I'm in Tennessee, Ryan, I'm going to ask you for your autograph, pal. But so the only time I've ever been to Tennessee is I went to Vanderbilt University. I originally had a big meeting in the main AT&T building, but right when my flight landed, it got canceled. So I took an Uber to Vanderbilt and I was walking around and I couldn't believe how unbelievable the campus was. Ed Podkay says, life is not about money. Being rich is your family and the ones you loved. Ed, I think that's a good point, a fantastic point. The most important things in life are family. Always remember that. Very good saying, Ed. Disney cast member says, in more than 3 years ago, he broke the record for the most performances by any artist at the Garden, period. With 65 shows in July 2015, the previous record was held by Elton John. Wow, Billy Joel with 75 shows. Wow. Billy Joel's great. Nah Literalist says, cash smells like drugs. Hey, Diego's here from Brazil. What's up, Diego? Let's keep Tennessee in our prayers as they are experiencing difficulties today. Says British, we will. Tom, we should hit up a rooftop with a bunch of people in New York City in the future, says K Wade. I'm down, hit me up, we'll do it. So just as a quick recap, everybody, for those of you who are just joining, who wants to catch the replay, every day we usually skateboard around the city, but today we got rained out. But the topic of today's stream is we were talking about the Columbia Large Cap Growth Stock Mutual Fund. And if you want to read the interview with the two portfolio managers, Tiffany Wade and Melda Mergen, they run an $8.5 billion growth stock mutual fund that has consistently outperformed the market over the past 3, 5, and 10 years. So if you want to check out that interview, in the chat, if you type GAEGX, it's going to drop a link to the article. Take a look at it, read it, spend 15 minutes, and I think you're going to learn a lot about how institutional money managers pick their investments. And we went into the details about the reasons why they invest in the companies that they do. They like to look for companies with large earnings growth runways. They have big positions in Alphabet, which is Google, and big positions in ServiceNow, which is another SaaS stock, a software as a service stock. Hey, Edson says, what's up, dude? What's going on? Good, we are doing good, everybody. We're here at 34th Street, Herald Square. So one of the things I think was interesting about this article is one of the portfolio managers, they were discussing a new position that they just added to the fund, and it's Match.com. So the ticker symbol is MTCH. Now, I'm not endorsing this specific stock, but I just thought her thesis was interesting. She said that their bull thesis on the company is that everybody has been locked down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's been very difficult for people to go outside of their house, meet new people. So nobody's really been dating really at all. So her thesis is now that the vaccines are rolled out, and about 55% of the population of the United States are fully vaccinated, things are going to be opening up. So she believes that there's going to be a boom in people using online dating apps to meet people. So they just added their position to Match.com. And the ticker symbol is MTCH. So I think I'm going to be doing a little bit of research on that company. But these are usually not the type of companies I buy. I usually mainly stay focused on pure play SaaS companies. For example, like a ServiceNow, which is a very, very good company. And the CEO is I think Bill McDermott. Bill McDermott. Zap balances online dating apps. Really? Yeah, check out the article. Very interesting pieces. Cynthia says never gonna vaccinate, says Cynthia. Charlie says finance is an interesting topic because it is something we really rely on every day. Hey, Patrick O'Neill with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Patrick. He says, Penn Station bathroom, show them New York City. I think I'm gonna need to get my mask on if I go to the Penn Station bathroom. Patrick O'Neill, thank you for the support. I really do appreciate that. But I don't think I could go. I don't think I'm gonna go to the Penn Station bathroom. I think that's the last place on earth I want to go. I think the two least favorite places for me is the Penn Station bathroom and Times Square. Hey, the New Jersey Devil is here. What's up, New Jersey Devil? Always good to see you here. Hope you're having a good night. Patrick O'Neill with another $5 says, dare you. Patrick, I can't. I'm sorry. That's just one thing that's off limits for me. Totally off limits. But I do appreciate you supporting the channel. I really do appreciate that. How low do I think the price of gold is gonna go? I'm not sure. I think it'll probably just stay in this range, but I think the price of gold is signaling to us that inflation may not be as big a deal as everybody's saying. I think inflation is going to be a big deal, and it's running hotter than even the Federal Reserve is expected. I think the Fed's target was 2%. We just had a 4% print. Ibrahim Hall says, go to Times Square, please. Abe says, I didn't know there was a bathroom in New York City. Hey, ZOR says, I'm going to New York sometime. That's great. No doctor is sticking a needle in my body. Some crazy duty is going on. Hey, Pablo says, people who don't get vaccinated are idiots. It's that simple. All right, guys, let's keep the vax talk to a minimum. To a minimum. I don't want to get too political here. It's none of my business to know if somebody wasn't vaxxed or not. And also, I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. Hey, I got a question. Who is your hero? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. I'm not sure. Got to go to FIDI. We will one day. Where George Washington Monument is near Wall Street. Yeah, so that's Federal Hall. Federal Hall. Federal Hall is amazing, and people should get down to Federal Hall as soon as possible because there's going to be scaffolding all up and down Federal Hall for 10 years due to the construction. So please definitely check that out. So the last thing I'll add is in this interview, and the Nightbot dropped the link to the article, please check it out. They were asking the portfolio managers, why do you think it is a good idea that you have such a large portion of your portfolio in Google? And they're like, well, if you look at the EPS growth, quarter over quarter, the past 4 quarters, they have a 24%, 29%, 99%, and 189% EPS growth in the past 4 quarters. And they were talking about Google's search engine and the advertising, that they're the key drivers of not only their revenue growth, but their earnings growth. And a lot of times people don't think about Google's business of their cloud computing business. So if you think about their cloud computing business, they compete with the likes of Amazon AWS. They compete with Microsoft Azure. And Google currently has the smallest stake in that market. So even though Google's EPS is growing quarter over quarter and year over year, their cloud business is not yet profitable. So if they can hire a lot of good salespeople to try to win some of that business back from Amazon AWS and Microsoft Azure, they could capture a large portion of the cloud computing market share and even increase their profits even more. So I thought that was a very interesting thesis, a very interesting thing that they pointed out. And you can check that out in the article posted in the description. Luis says, what are your thoughts on day trading? We were talking about that earlier. I have very, very negative thoughts on it. I would never do it. I would never advise anybody to do it, because you're running against a statistic. Anybody that day trades in a personal account with like $1,000, I think they're wasting their time. And I think they're going to lose all their money, probably. But that's my opinions on it. Hey, Richard, Charlie Richardson says, is Cisco WebEx a SaaS? So Cisco WebEx competes with, like, you could say a Zoom video conferencing. It competes with the likes, and there's so many now. I think even Uber has a conference as well. So you have Zoom Video, you have Microsoft Teams. These are like all conferencing softwares. So I guess you could consider it a SaaS. But some people could consider these products like RingCentral and 8x8 like a UCaaS or a Unified Communications as a Service. Hey, we have Sam and Mark Davis in the house. Sam and Mark Davis. Two Toronto people. What's going on, everybody? So, sunshine after rain says SaaS, bro. 26 says some people have real medical exemptions, but for the majority, indeed. Hey, traveling tips says, have you been to the Museum of American Finance on Wall Street? I haven't, but I really do want to go. John Doe says, dude, Wall Street, I enjoy your stream by watching New York through your point of view without sound. It helps me think. Awesome, dude. It's awesome. So we are on West 40th Street. Viral clips as raindrops are falling on my hair. There we go. So we're coming up on Central Park. Actually, not really. West 40, this is Bryant Park. Central Park starts at 59th Street. Patrick O'Neill says, you're my dude, right to repair is big to me. I only have an iPhone, so people, quote unquote girls, don't think I'm poor Nexus and Pixel user until iPhone 12 Pro, and this camera sucks. This is Patrick O'Neill. Very interesting take. JK says, I'm still here. What's up, JK? Hope you're well. Hey, Warren Drew is here. Says, hey. Cher says, is Times Square near? Yes. So we're on 40th Street. Times Square is 42nd Street and 1 avenue over. But I don't think we're going to walk through Times Square tonight. I'm not a big fan of that. Lewis says, you walked a lot. Patrick O'Neill says, Lewis Rossman. Hey, Ray is here. Warren Drew says INMD stock took off today. It did take off today. Warren Drew, you were talking about that on previous streams. That's awesome, man. Congratulations on your success. So we are outside Bryant Park, and the One Vanderbilt building is all in the clouds. It looks amazing. Hecka HD says hi from Germany. Abe says, we appreciate you, Tom. Both contents and the visuals. Appreciate it. So now we are walking past the Salesforce Tower, which has a Whole Foods, but most importantly, Salesforce. And the CEO of Salesforce is Mark Benioff. Leo says, hey bro, what's new? Not too much, Leo. What about yourself? It's 1 p.m. in Malaysia. Welcome everybody from Malaysia. So speaking of SaaS, this company is really the pioneer in software as a service. Salesforce sells CRM software, or customer relationship management software. And they actually recently made a very notable acquisition of Slack. And Slack's ticker symbol was WORK. Lord Kate says, have you ever been to Nassau County? Yeah, I know my way around Nassau County, yeah, absolutely. Massapequa Park, Amityville, Copiague, Lindenhurst, Babylon. Where can I learn about investing in the stock market? As a complete beginner, books, recommendations, and websites. So everything in the links in the description are totally free. So I would start with Jack Bogle's Common Sense Investing, Phil Fisher's Common Stocks and Uncommon Profits. Oh my God, we use Salesforce software at the office. Awesome. Yeah, a lot of the larger companies use Salesforce now. Tom, can you get Maggie soup in New York? I'm not sure what that is. And I would also read the book by Peter Lynch, One Up on Wall Street, and How to Make Money in Stocks by William J. O'Neill. Doc Light Player says, I'm from Argentina. This is breathtaking to me. Welcome everybody in Argentina. Hope you're well. Tone Capone says, why are you moving to Florida? Because I really like the weather. The taxes are very low. And I want to be between New York and Florida. Those are the two places that I want to be. Hey, William Wilson says, Tom, do you think scrap metal prices will go down this winter? I think that's hard to say, but I do think that commodities prices overall will come down. Is it safe to walk outside alone? Yes, it is. Just Jennifer says, any other cities you'd like to visit that you haven't been to? I really do want to go to Seoul, South Korea. In the United States, I would say LA. Just for a visit. I've never been to LA. Waffle Dose to see ya. Take it easy, my friend. Tom, do you ever ride the subway? Says Ryan Royal. I do ride the subway from time to time. Warren Drew says Las Vegas. Ed Podcast is mods.
I could probably use this a
These are really beautiful pianos here. So we're walking back up to Central Park. Central Park starts on 59th Street and goes all the way up to 110th Street, Cathedral Parkway. Roy says, need your help checking the link for your coffee place suggestion. Seems like the link doesn't work. I'll check it out when I get home. I will check it out when I get home, Roy. But Black Press Coffee is on 72nd Street and I believe Columbus. Penelope says, Tom, I think you would love London. I think I would like London too. It's just the weather is terrible in London, isn't it? 26 is LA's all right. It's not too hard to meet people, but very spread out. Yeah, Ryan Royal says those pianos can go for 100,000. Vista Pacifica says, have to pick up the kiddo from work. Have a good night, everybody. It's been fun and informative as always, is Vista Pacificas. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Marlon says, hello, greetings from El Salvador. Quick question. What are your thoughts on Bitcoin? I guess I'll say it again. So I think Bitcoin is, I think that the use case for Bitcoin is for remittance payments. And I think in emerging market countries, for example, like El Salvador, if you have family in the United States and they're trying to send money back to El Salvador, I think Bitcoin is a more efficient way of transferring those payments across borders as opposed to like a MoneyGram or something like that that's going to take enormous fees. So for, I think that purpose, I think it's very good as a way to sort of have autonomous control over your wealth while being able to move it around the world at a relatively affordable cost basis. So those are my thoughts on it. London weather is fine, at least for 4 months. What's up, everybody from Peru? DJ says, Tom, I think you would love Athens, Greece even better. Wow. Warren Drew says, INMD stock took off today. I've been saying this all week. Congratulations, Warren. You have. You've said it in the chat a bunch of times, so that's awesome. Hello from Colombia. Welcome everybody from Colombia. Watching from Bulgaria. What's up? Doc says, hey, where are the flying cars? So we're passing my old office again. I know I've said it a bunch of times on the stream. Did you buy a house or apartment, condo in Miami? A house, New Jersey Devil. I bought a house, but I'm mainly going to be renting it out. So the renters will pay the mortgage, but I will live out of one side of it. Ed Podcast is silver tanked. Yeah, Warren Juice is buying I would never buy any sort of condominium ever, but that's just my opinion. Marlon says, thanks, to subscribe to your channel, says Marlon. Well, we're very happy that you're here. We appreciate it. And I hope you have a phenomenal Friday. How high do I think the Dow is going to go before it crashes? I can't really put a target on that. I think that's just speculation, but I still think that we are in a bull market. I think the moment you know that we're going to have a significant pullback is when the Federal Reserve starts to taper. And if you want to find out more about that, you could watch last night's stream where we talked about central banking globally. So the Federal Reserve, as well as the Bank of Japan and the European central banks, they're actually purchasing about $300 billion worth of assets every single month, and that's supporting global equities prices. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of condominiums because I'm not a big fan of condominiums because I don't want to pay any of the HOA fees. Warren Drew says the VIX dropped. It did drop. It did drop, absolutely. Yeah, the webcam guy is a little bit annoying. Roy says, wow, your previous office is located right next to a Chick-fil-A. Indeed it is. So we used to have, well, we still do, D.E. Shaw in our old office. And D.E. Shaw was the old hedge fund that Jeff Bezos used to work at. And the founder of D.E. Shaw is David Shaw, David E. Shaw. And they're a quantitative-based hedge fund on Wall Street. And this is News Corp. And News Corp just bought Investors Business Daily. YouTuber says, can you do a walk with Action Kid before you move to Florida? Perhaps, but I'll be back and forth between New York and Florida, so I'm sure me and Action Kid will cross paths. Sorry about that. I like Action Kid. He was just in. I was watching his stream. I think I was talking about it yesterday. There's a very beautiful mural in Chinatown I want to go see. Very beautiful down there. He was showing it to everybody. Where's the Goldman Sachs office? West Street, 200 West Street. That is the Goldman Sachs New York City headquarters. Hey, Kim is here. Mossad says, last March 2020, the Fed put a floor under the market. Do they think they're still doing that? They are still doing that. So the Federal Reserve is still buying assets, and they're not going to raise interest rates, at least in my opinion. We just heard from the Federal Reserve yesterday. We heard from Jerome Powell, Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Hey, Lord Kate says, how old are you? I'm 26. Sam says, Tom, AK and Fern would be one heck of a stream. I think it would too. I think that'd be awesome. So if anybody is just joining, Action Kid, I really like his channel, very good. If you do ! Action in the chat, Nightbot will drop a link to the channel. Ray says Chipotle, or Chipotle. Is walking in the night alone safe? Yes. I think I've answered that question a little bit. But yes, it is safe. A lot of people don't know this, but the majority of crime actually happens during the daytime. So people say, hey, is it safe at night? But the majority of the crime actually happens during the day. So you're more likely to be victimized by a crime during the daytime as opposed to the nighttime. I have not, Mark Davis, I have not yet. I would like to. Diana says, love the reflections. This is Diana Lee. Hello, I am from Indonesia. Says Riz Kui. What's going on from Indonesia? How are you? Joe J says, I've been in Central Park at 1 a.m. as a teenager with friends playing Manhunt. All you see are couples strolling. Yeah, Joe J, it's New York is safe. I don't understand. Everybody asks that. I usually get that question like 5 or 6 times a night. Is it safe? It's safe, man. I mean, as safe could be, I guess. But I do understand the concern because many people from all over the world, they see New York through the lens of mainstream media. And mainstream media is just like a big fear factory. They love to pump the fear. So I think the majority of New Yorkers are just regular people. And I think you're gonna be really, really safe here if you visit. Sam says, turn off the news and go to New York and see for yourself. That is true. That is true. I think some people unfamiliar with New York still think it's like what they heard about the city in the 70s or 80s. It is much safer now than back then. I agree with that. Ed Podke says it seems very safe. Joe J says it's actually really fun when things are closed and a few gems are open and you can explore Manhattan. It's a fun place to start an adventure. I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. A normal enter to US is impossible at times. I agree. Yeah, fear a bit, but concern is I will be there in a few days. You're going to be fine. Trust me. You're going to be fine. You're going to enjoy yourself. Mark Davis says, I have been to New York City a few times, Tom, and loved it as always. That's awesome, Mark. Yeah, I mean, I really think that if you just sit home and consume Fox News and CNN, you would never leave your house, because the media needs ratings. And I understand that there's crime in New York and there's crime in every city, and it's terrible, and I get it. But they only report on the crime because that's the big breaking news story for the day. They're not going to report on just normal behavior because that's not going to get clicks, in my opinion. Hey, and thanks for the informative live stream. Lord Kate says we're in New York in 2012. That's awesome. Hey, Papato says city lights always give a beautiful look. What about the... Yes, you do need to show your vaccination cards to eat inside. Christopher says, hi man, thanks for the content. All the way from Cape Town, South Africa. Wow, that's awesome. There's no way you could be outside at 1 a.m. at this side, says Christopher. Well, thank you for being here, Christopher, and we appreciate it a lot. Arctic Turn says, I think that driver was smoking something. It's possible. It's definitely possible. All right, everybody, we're coming up on the Hilton, and it looks like the light is out on the Hilton Hotel. And it's sitting empty right now because of the virus. It is still empty. But one of the things that they used to do, which I thought was pretty cool, right here they used to turn on all the lights and make it into a heart shape. So every time you would walk past the Hilton, the lights were lit up in the shape of a heart. So it was pretty cool. So the Hilton Hotel. Anon says, I want to go to New York so bad. Mark Davis says, Tom, does Mark Benioff ever go to Salesforce office there? I know his primarily location is based in San Francisco. He does, so sometimes he makes a visit here in New York City. Hopefully one day, Mark, I'll run into him. And if I do, I'll put him on the stream and we'll do a little bit of an interview. William says, that's the first hotel I stayed in my first time in New York City. So William, I'm assuming it's looked a bit different because they just put in all of these retail units on the ground. Zap Balance says, Paris should move into the Hilton and make it her home. Is it worth it to buy a car in New York City? Absolutely not, in my opinion. In my opinion, I'd say no. I wouldn't buy a car. I'm not a big... There's too much liability to have a car in New York City, in my opinion. The funny thing is, people will buy very nice cars in New York, and then they'll get upset when it gets all scratched up. It's like, dude, this is a city with 14 million people. course your car is gonna get clanged and banged around. So everybody, I really do appreciate you joining the stream tonight. If you like this content, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Monday through Friday, we will be streaming from the skateboard, assuming it doesn't rain, and we talk about finance, a specific financial topic, Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday, we sort of just free reign it and skateboard around the city. But if you want to check out the financial newsletter, it's going to be posted every Sunday night at 8 p.m. to the YouTube community page. So you'll be able to see that. I'll provide a markets, a look ahead, and I'll review the major companies that are reporting earnings, and I'll provide a link to their earnings conference calls. So if you want to be a part of it there, feel free, and I appreciate everybody joining the stream tonight. Hey, Luis says bye, Tom, and thank you very much. Simple Learning says, I am new to your channel. Nice informative stream. Hey, thank you, Simple Learning. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Hey, Brittany McMurdy says, night, Tom. See you tomorrow night. I'll see you, Brittany. Thank you for joining as always. Have you ever ridden a motorcycle, Tom? Thanks for the stream. I have not. I don't think I could ever ride a motorcycle, in my opinion. What's your favorite city other than New York? Miami. Diana Lee says, thanks, Tom. Abe says, nice one, Tom. Melee says, thanks for another great walk tonight, Tom. Stay safe. 48 says, I always love coming on here to see New York with you, Tom. You have a great night and a good sleep. Appreciate it. We're right here on 57th Street with the new subway terminal they just installed. So you could take the F train uptown or downtown here. Elizabeth says, thank you, Tom, and good night. Appreciate it. Dino says, what time is it? I'm actually not sure what time it is tonight. Lord Kate, yes, I am. Yes, indeed. So everybody, thank you for joining the stream tonight. I'll see you all in the next one. Once again, I'll leave you off with the link to the article. So if you do !GAEGX, it will drop a link to the Columbia Large Cap Growth Stock Mutual Fund. Very good article, very good interview. Check it out, learn the process. And I will see you all in the next one. Sunshine after rain, as always. Thank you for being here. Hey, the Renegade Dog, what's going on? What's up, Renegade Dog? Gunmoed's his Twitter account. Yes, I do have a Twitter account. If you want to follow me at Wall Street Sass Bro, you can follow me there. But I only really use my Twitter for equity research, so I just post very rarely. Hey, Two Wheel Pine says, thanks, see you tomorrow. Hey, Mercury X says, nice, always a pleasure. Mercury X, always good to see you on the stream, Mercury X. Zap Balance says, be safe going home, Tom, I appreciate it. Is the Starbucks open right now? It is not, it is closed. Hey, Charlie Richardson, always good seeing you, friend. Charlie says, hey, Tom, are you gonna buy orange juice? I'm actually going to buy some orange juice right now. Hey, our friend EBITDA is here. Says, have a good night, Tom. EBITDA, what's up? Almost the weekend, I know, man. So EBITDA is our good friend that works for BAML, Bank of America Merrill Lynch. EBITDA is always providing some very good insights into the investment banking world. So we always appreciate EBITDA dropping in, saying hi. We learn a lot from our pal EBITDA. Gunmo Eds is until next time. Saw you 2 days. Today with Fernando. Yes. Hey, Tariq says, what's up, man? What's up, Tariq? So I think this is Nobu. Isn't this like a very famous restaurant, like very ritzy restaurant? Nobu. I've never been here, but I believe this is a very, very famous place. Tiwi says, go to sleep, man. It's late at night. We will. We're gonna head to stream right now. We're gonna head to sleep right now. What is your number one choice of orange juice? Tropicana, I guess. Tropicana. Hey, Dwayne says it's a famous restaurant. Yes. Yeah, it's is this and what kind of food is it? Does anybody know? Nobu is like it's Asian cuisine, isn't it? Isn't it Asian cuisine? I know it's very, very famous and very expensive. Hey, Cosmo Scary says, listening to Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. Good book. I'm gonna have to check that out. T. Wee says, I don't think it's safe to move around so late at night. Flippin' Five says, watching from Poland. What's up, Flippin' Five? Brandon says, Tropicana is top tier for sure. Yeah, Tropicana is definitely bulge bracket orange juice. Definitely bulge bracket orange juice. Very peaceful at night though, as we walk home. Simple Learning says, can we see your face? Yes. Mark Davis says, Tom, I will give you a book report on Trailblazer in a couple of days. Yeah, Mark, let me know what you think. And also, Mark, I know you had sent me a book on the medical marijuana industry. So I'm definitely going to have to check that out soon. Dwayne says, I like Tropicana. Minute Maid orange juice. Zach Valentine says, oh my God, that scared me. Yeah, hopefully nobody lives around here. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I hope nobody saw that on the stream. Hey, DJ's here. What's up, DJ? Hope you're well. Mark Davis says, take your time, Tom, on the medical cannabis book. No rush, you're busy these days. Yeah, Mark, feel free to leave it in the chat. Leave a link in the chat. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Dwayne says, I've seen the same thing in Edmonton. Construction at night, very loud. Simple Learning, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. DJ. Tell me why nobody's walking. Nobody's walking right now because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So usually people are asleep at 1 a.m. But there are some people who work night shifts and they're out here. Yeah, Julie says we're back around Trump Tower now. I'm gonna go now. Bye. Take it easy. Cranon, appreciate it. Penelope says Nobu is very famous. Can we go to Les Bernard? Oh, I think we went there one night on the stream. We got yelled at. Alright, everybody. I think we're gonna call it a night now. Sunshine after rain. We'll see you later, everybody. Thank you for joining. Arctic 10 trends. There's not one homeless tent in sight. Darien says nice view. Venus is really open. William Wilson says good night. So hopefully it's not going to rain tomorrow, everybody. And then we will go to Riverside Park, hopefully. Hopefully we can be able to go to Riverside Park. Hey, Seal Bear 23 is here. Says, thanks, Tom. Have a good night. Seal Bear, appreciate you joining. Hope you're well. Ryan Royal says, good night, Tom. Thanks again for a great show. Lucas says, good night. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Simple Learning says, have a good night. So everybody, I'll leave you off with this picture of 220 Central Park South. Hopefully tomorrow we will be back on the skateboard. So please check the links in the descriptions for all of the topics we covered tonight. Like the video and subscribe if you like this sort of content. Everybody be safe, have a fantastic Friday. And as always, I will see you in the next stream. Take it easy, everybody.